So I received this from Sigma Brushes. It's a brush kit. It's called the Make Me Up Brush Kit. This is the package that I received. And I'm doing a giveaway for the same brush kit. These are the brushes that it comes with. This is what the package looks like. I'm going to open it up in a second. It comes with 12 basic brushes that you need. You get the large angled contour brush. You get the large powder brush, the duo fiber, the pencil brush, the eye shading, medium angled shading, a large shader, a concealer, a foundation brush, an eyeliner brush, a small angle brush, and a tapered blending brush. So basically you get all the brushes you need in this kit. And this is basically the same as all the Sigma brushes. The only difference is that these come in color. I chose the purple kit because I wanted it to be different than my basic MAC brushes. This is what the set looks like. And there you go, up close. It says Sigma Makeup. So it unsnaps open, and it separates into two pieces. And what I like about this is you can use this for two reasons. This is what the package looks like. You can use this when you're doing makeup jobs. You can take this and use it as your brush holder. Like, you can separate between all the brushes that are dirty and the brushes that are clean. Or just easier for you, instead of having a brush belt, it's probably easier to hold this way. And also, for when you're traveling, your brushes are protected and you keep them nice and neat in here. And you always have something to hold your brushes for you when you're traveling. Whether you're a makeup artist or you're just using this for yourself, either way it works perfectly. So we're going to open up the brushes and talk a little bit more about the brushes that come in here and the quality of these brushes. So basically in this set, like I said, you get the basic brushes, and they have them separated by the letters on here. When you see it says, F is for face, and you have the E brushes. The E brushes are for eyes. So that's four. So then you have five face brushes and 7 eye brushes. So I'm going to go through these brushes and I'm going to compare them for you guys with the MAC brushes, because I feel like these brushes were made to resemble MAC brushes. Basically, even like by the names on them, by like what the actual brush is called, it's exactly actually like the MAC brushes. And so now we're going to check out, is the brush or the bristles, are they comparable to the MAC brushes? So I'm going to do one by one. Let's start with the face brushes. So these are your face brushes. And start with this big one here. This one is the large powder brush. It's the F30. So this is the bristles of the F30. Just by feeling it here, I feel the texture is not exactly the same like the MAC brushes for those of you who already have MAC brushes. It's a little bit, let's see. Feels actually, from the front, it feels a little bit softer, but the MAC brush is a little bit more fuller. I feel it's more spread out. It's a little bigger than this one. So this one's comparable to the MAC 150. So if you don't want MAC and you don't want to spend the money on a MAC brush, then you can opt for the F30 large powder brush. I noticed with this there was just a slight scent, like a slight smell to it. So maybe once you wash it, the smell will go away. So that's that one. So now the next brush is a dual fiber brush. This one is the F50 dual fiber, and this is comparable to the 187 from MAC, as you see here. Also, this one is very soft, but then again, this one also has that slight smell to it. I'm not sure. Like I said, maybe once you wash it, the smell will go away. So if you want one that's similar to a MAC brush, it feels very similar to the MAC. Feels very similar to the MAC 187. So a dupe for 187 would be this one. Next brush. This one is the F40. And this one is a dupe for the 168 MAC brush. Because even in the MAC brush, if you look at their website, the names, if you look at the MAC website, the names here of the brushes are exactly the same. So you have the large angled contour, it's called the same way with the MAC ones, only the numbers are different and the quality is different. I would say this one, very similar to the MAC brush. The MAC 168 is a little bit softer though. And as for uses of these brushes, sorry I didn't mention that from the beginning. I mean, obviously this one is the large powder brush, so you're going to be using that for your powders. And this one here is a dual fiber. This one you can use for foundation, you can use for blush, you can use for powders, you can use for pretty much anything that's going to go on the face. But see, the MAC has the smaller one that's easier to use for contouring. This is a little too wide for that, so I mean, you decide what, or based on the face shape, you decide what you can use this one for. And for this one here, you can use this for blush, but you'll get your blush will be a little bit more dense with this one because of the bristles are more dense. You'll get a little bit more blush on, but basically it's perfect for contouring because of the angled shape. Next one is a foundation brush. This one's comparable to the MAC 190. It's cute that they have this little protecting on it. If you get these brushes, I would say save these and throw away that plastic piece. But this is great for after you wash them and they've dried and you want them to keep their shape. It's nice to keep them that way. It also helps to keep them nice and clean. So that's the foundation brush. This one didn't have a smell to it. It actually was okay. It's very soft. And the last brush from the face brushes would be the concealer brush. Let's remove this. And this one here is the F70. So this is comparable to the MAC 195 concealer brush. And this is what that's like. I honestly don't use this, usually use a concealer brush for my concealer. I usually use like a 224 and a blending eyeshadow brush. I use that. I feel like it puts your concealer on a lot more flawless. But for those of you who use a concealer brush to put their concealer on, this is very similar to the MAC concealer brush, the 195. Okay, so off now to the next set. I'll put these back in here. Now for the eyes. Let's start with this one. This is the one I was telling you I usually put my concealer on with. This is comparable to the MAC 224. This one's the E40. It's a tapered blending brush. Now this is very important. Like I said in the beginning, this kit is great for beginners, great for people who just want to add on more brushes. If you do jobs and sometimes you run out of the 224, let's say, and you want like a couple, but you don't want to keep purchasing, the MAC 224s. I mean, these will do. This will do as your sidekick or your second, or third or fourth brush. So this is the one I use for my concealer mainly. It's a blending brush. This blends your eyeshadows beautifully to soften up. For those of you who put eyeshadows on and wonder, this is packed on a little too much, how do I soften my eyeshadows? This is the brush that's going to soften your eyeshadows. Now when you compare it to the 224, I feel like this one's a little more fluffier. It's a little more fluffed out with the 224. It's probably a little bit longer also. Probably a little shorter and a little more. The MAC one is a little bit more lighter also. This feels a little dense from here. So that's that one. Next brush. This one's a very important brush. Your pencil brush. This is the E30, and compare this to the 119 from MAC. Let's see. I would say this one's a bit more pointier than the MAC one. The MAC one is not as pointy at the tip there, but it still will do the trick. This is a very important brush. I mean, I don't know what I would do without a pencil brush. So for those of you who, need new brushes or plan to go buy brushes and don't know what to add to your kit, this is a must-have. I mean, there's many more that are must-haves. Basically, this whole kit here is perfect because you get all your must-have brushes. For people who are always asking, oh, what are the brushes that I need? What are the most brushes that you use? These would be them. So the E30 compared to the 119. Alright, so the next brush here we have is the E70, and this one's comparable to the MAC 275, and it's the medium angled shading brush. And this is what that looks like. And it does compare to it, only I feel the MAC one is slightly more angled maybe, but it's very, very similar. And this one's maybe a little bit longer than the MAC one, but it's very similar to that. And this one's great for applying your shadows in your crease, and for the people who want to get the perfect angle in the outer corner when you're trying to get that V shape kind of before blending. This should make it very easy for you to create that shape. And it's great for the crease. If you put it sideways, you'll get a more defined crease like this. Obviously not this way, you wouldn't be using it like this, you'd be using it like that. On to the next brush. This one is the E60, and the E60 is comparable to the 252 MAC brush. Now this one they compared it to the 252, but I have to say this is very much softer than the 252. I like to use this for highlighting the brow bone, if you need to apply eyeshadow in a bigger area, like if you have bigger lids and you want to put more eyeshadow, if you want to go higher on the lid, this is nice to pack on the shadow a little higher. So like I said, compared to the 252, but softer. Next brush is the E65. The E65 is the small angled brush, and this one is compared to the MAC 266. This is compared to the MAC 266 angled brush. Now this brush is a multi-use. Some people like to apply their eyeliner with this brush. Some people like to fill in their brows with this brush. Some people even take this and use it to apply mascara on their lashes, like if you take mascara and just apply onto the lashes. So let's say these are the lashes and you just like coat them like that. I mean, there's specific brushes for that, but you can use something like this to do that also. I like to use my angle brushes for my brows, that's about it. But a lot of people like to create their wing liner by using the angle brush. Now for the eyeliner brush, this compares to the MAC 209. This is the E05 eyeliner brush. It's like the 209. I personally like the 210 more than this one. More than the 209, sorry, from the MAC collection, because it's thinner than this. This is a little bit thick for me, for the eyeliner that I like to apply a thin liner, but this is great for thicker liner. This is also nice to apply eyeshadow on your lower lash line. This is a perfect tool to use for that. Or if you're applying color on your liner, so sometimes I would put an eyeliner on, then I would like to dab on some color, so I'd use this brush. So this one is compared to the 209, E05. And the last brush from the eye brushes here is the E55. And the E55 is the eye shading brush, and it's compared to the 239. So if I compare this to the 239, I would say it does the same job as the 239, but I wouldn't compare it to a 239, only because the 239 is smaller, flatter. It's very different than it, but it does the job. It does exactly what you need it to do. It does it same way the 239 does. It's a little bit maybe even longer. So overall it's a little bit larger. So that's that one there. So now if you would like these brushes, Sigma is giving away a set just like this one, only you get to choose your color. In the box below, I'm going to leave a couple of links to the different colors that it's available in. It comes in the Make Me Classy, which is the black set. It comes in the Make Me Blush, it's a coral set. Make Me Crazy, which is this set here. And Make Me Cool, the aqua set. So all you need to do to enter this contest is leave me a comment below telling me what color you want if you won this contest, and also would you rather purchase this set that comes all together, you have all your basic brushes, or would you rather purchase individual MAC brushes, the ones that I've compared with these brushes. So whether you want the Sigma set or would you rather splurge on the MAC brushes.